Hi, and welcome back to the channel. A slightly different format today. This isn't a permanent format. I just want to sort of go and talk through some of the photographs that I've taken. I suppose one of the things that people will ask is, did you really get rid of the Fuji 100V? And the answer is yes, I did. I did actually get rid of it. I did sell it. I did part exchange for another camera, but that's for a video another day about which camera I actually did choose. Do I regret it? And this is literally, what are we, a couple of months on from there? No, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. And I'm going to give you some of the reasons why I really do stick by my decision. It will not, and I think it's right that everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but if it doesn't sit well with you, then fine. You like the Fuji 100V. I am not going to knock the Fuji. I'm not, because there are cameras that I absolutely have loved, have really helped me take my photographs on further. But in terms of actually what it could offer, the Ricoh to me offered me far more. And that's for me personally. So we'll start with this photograph, and to me it sort of tends to summarize just how good those DNG files are that are created on the Ricoh. I just felt it was that little bit better. I felt it had had more of a depth of color, the clarity, the detail. To me, it isn't intangible. You look at something and you either like it or you hate it. And in terms of this, I very much I like the camera. I like what it does. I think that it tends to sort of fit in with what I'm trying to get from a photograph. And in this instance, this is what this photograph does for me. The colors are spot on. That just everything I can move around to the way I want it. To me, far more easily and with far more success than I could with the 100V. Again, it's the color. It's the 100V. I always felt personally it was a constant battle to try and get the right colors. And people are going to argue, say, well, I can get the colors, and I'm sure you can, but all I'm looking for is a good raw file, and these certainly provided those. But saying that, when you do use some of their profiles, and this one's a cross-processing profile, it was something that I couldn't get away from, something I couldn't let go, because they are good. They do produce very pleasing results, and the same applies to the Fuji. It produces excellent results from its particular types of choices of the JPEGs that you have. But to me, the Ricoh just gave me that little bit more. This was one of the photographs that probably turned the table for me in terms of my Fuji. When I took this photograph and I processed it in the way I like to process my photographs, it produced a result that I really wanted. And often I think when we take photographs, it's difficult to actually say, I've taken something, I've produced something that I really want, and that could I improve it? And for me, I couldn't improve. I'm sure you could probably say, oh, you could improve this by that's a matter of opinion, which is left up to people once you've put a photograph out there. In this instance, for me personally, I couldn't do more with the photograph or get the result any better than this. Is exactly what I wanted. It achieved what I wanted from that result, and that's what the Ricoh gave to me. I think IBIS was another winner for me. The 100V doesn't have IBIS, and it does suffer a little bit because it doesn't have IBIS. And I know people turn around and say, yeah, but there is IBIS and other cameras, and yes, there are in the Fuji range. But in terms of the size, if you look at the actual size of the GR3 and it's got IBIS, it's a stunning achievement. And the IBIS is good. You can do handheld. Just go on to the next one. You can do handheld, and the actual quality of it is incredible. Yes, there's some movement there, but look at it in terms of that's a handheld shot on a little camera. And I think that's the thing I like about them. That's the thing I think that if you're looking for a camera that's going to give you confidence to go out there, and that's something that I think we all maybe suffer with. I certainly do. If I go out into the street and I'm going to take a photograph, it's very difficult to get the camera out and take it when there's people around you. That takes a lot of bottle, a lot of nerve. And I think that the Ricoh, because it's so unintrusive, it really people just don't notice, and you can get shots that you wouldn't have ordinarily may have thought you could get because they just don't take it seriously. And yet you're producing such incredible depths of photograph, and that was one of the big winners for me. My own sort of reservations, my own shyness, actually the Ricoh is the camera that really helps me get over that. And that's why I really like it. And I know you can argue you can tilt the screen on the X100V, but it's still, to me, it's just the Ricoh for me, that's what did it. And though that color science, and again within this one, it was the color that I could get, the detail that I could get. And really, when you think about it, and this is something that I did want to talk about, is that when you actually look at megapixels and all of those things, you need to be very careful in the fact that you talk about high resolution cameras, APS-C cameras, in two different ways, but you shouldn't. Once you get over 20 megapixels an APS-C camera, you are talking high resolution. And with high resolution, there are trade-offs, and those trade-offs can be noisier, it can have problems with dynamic range, it can have problems with just trying to make it more of a photograph than a complete and accurate depiction of what you've just seen. And I think that that's what I really wanted to keep, in the Ricoh, to me, does that. And at 24 megapixels, I think the details that you can extract from it are really good. And in this instance, again, one of those photographs that I looked at and I thought, this is what I'm trying to achieve. So in the future, watch out, because I am going to follow this up even more. I promise to be back onto normal video, but I thought this was the best way of doing it, so I could talk through some of my photographs. But I am going to be, and I'd highly recommend it, Daido Maruyama is a very famous Japanese photographer for color and for black and white photographs, and he's famous for just getting out there and taking many photographs in many situations. He used a Ricoh, obviously probably film to begin with and then digital, but it was that ability just to go with one hand, take a photograph, to be able to press a button, choose different aspects of it. That's what I really enjoyed. So watch out, because that's going to be my next video, because I really want to sort of see, can I get over that shyness? Can the camera help me bring me out a little bit more in terms of that street photography look? And that's what I'm going to try and do. So I don't want to wrap it on anymore. It's great to be back. There will be far more videos coming your way. Hopefully you've appreciated the sound quality is way better. I know the video is what it is because I'm using a meeting app to show you these things. So without further ado, I'm going to say goodbye. Take care. Keep pressing the button. Keep getting out there and making photographs. And I'll talk to you very, very soon.